From the vault of James A. Stack comes one of the greatest coin collections ever assembled. Now, after decades in silence, its treasures return to the market. In Gold Rush, California, Baldwin's and Company tried to build a private coinage that could rival the Federal Mint. Their 1851 $10 piece abandoned the dramatic horseman design of the previous years for a more familiar Liberty head, but the operation still struggled with equipment that could barely bring the design up in a single strike. Most surviving examples show that weakness. Graded as AU58 by PCGS, there are few coins known to be any finer. It raised $240,000 at auction. In the first frantic years of the California gold rush, miners were pulling fortunes from the earth faster than the finance economy could handle them. Gold dust and nuggets filled bottles and pouches, but it was an awkward type of money. The solution arrived in 1851 with the massive $50 gold pieces struck by the United States Assay Office of Gold in San Francisco. These were the famous Humbird slugs. The first of these slugs bore a lettered edge, a painstaking step that proved too cumbersome and was soon abandoned. This rare example survives in a grade of AU55 from PCGS and was sold at auction for $360,000. In the chaos of San Francisco in 1849, gold circulated not as coins, but as dust, poured from bottles and pouches and weighed into bits of paper. The Miners Bank attempted to solve this problem. Their plan was simple: convert raw gold into $10 gold pieces that could function more readily as traditional money. But the scheme fell apart as soon as it began. Questions over the purity of the metal and the refusal of customs officials to accept it as payment doomed the issue from the very start. Most were recoined or melted down. This MS-62 example is a remarkable survivor, which was sold for $432,000 at auction. In 1830, America's first gold rush was not in California, but instead in the hills of northern Georgia. But turning raw gold into usable money required a journey to Philadelphia. So a German-born gunsmith named Templeton Reid turned his hand to assaying and opened a private mint. Reid issued pieces in denominations of $2.50, $5, and $10, boldly inscribed Georgia Gold. The experiment was brief, and today only 24 or so examples are thought to have survived. This example is graded as AU58 by PCGS and sold at auction for $504,000. Only 6 examples of the 1828 over 7 half eagle are known today, but this coin is even rarer still, one of only 2 known examples of the BD2 die marriage. For generations, specialists believed that the Keston coin was actually unique for this type. Only now has the truth emerged. Its twin had been quietly resting in the Stack's cabinet for 82 years. On top of that, it is also the finest known for the variety as a whole at PCGS MS64+. It earned its closing price of $630,000 by final call. When Augustus Saint-Gaudens was tasked by President Theodore Roosevelt to transform the nation's coinage, Saint-Gaudens insisted on ultra-high relief for the $20, sculptural depth so dramatic that each coin required repeated blows of the heavy metal press in order to bring up the full design. During early experiments in February of 1907, the mint struck the first examples using whatever equipment was available, including a collar originally prepared for Charles Barber's 1906 patent double eagle. The collar produced a distinctive edge with a Gothic-styled lettering. Just 3 coins were struck with this experimental edge, and today only 2 are known to still survive. Today, known as the sans serif edge, including this Proof 58 graded coin from PCGS. It was sold by auction's end for $840,000. In the earliest months of the California gold rush, private mints rushed in to turn raw gold into trusted money. Most copied federal designs. Baldwin's and Company did something different. Their 1850 $10 piece shows a California vaquero in mid-lasso, one of the most vivid images in all of pioneer gold. The design traces back to an 1831 illustration of a Spanish Californian horseman. Only about 20 to 35 examples survive today, according to best estimates. This amazing example of frontier California gold is graded as MS61 by PCGS and raised $840,000 at auction. In 1907, Augustus Saint-Gaudens set out to transform America's coinage into sculpture. His bold Indian head eagle design was beautiful, but ultimately impractical. Chief engraver Charles Barber altered the rim in order to allow the coins to be stacked properly. In September and October of 1907, the mint actually struck 31,500 of these rounded rim eagles, all but 50 of which were then promptly melted down before even leaving the mint, instantly creating a modern rarity, including this MS67 graded piece from PCGS. It was sold at auction for $900,000. In 1933, the Philadelphia Mint struck 312,500 Indian head eagles. Within weeks, the nation abandoned gold. Franklin Roosevelt's March 6 proclamation halted gold payments and began the recall of privately held gold coins. Today, perhaps 50 examples still exist. That small handful probably escaped through official channels before the shutdown. James A. Stacks Sr. acquired his example around 1943. At the same moment, he acquired the famous run of 1931, 32, and 33 double eagles, the latter of which was then to be surrendered to the Secret Service. This MS66 coin was sold for the closing sum at auction of $960,000. In 1911, the Denver Mint struck just 30,100 Indian head eagles, the lowest mintage of the with motto type. Most were never even circulated. They were swept into the melting furnaces of the late to mid-1930s, leaving the 1911 D as one of the most elusive coins of the entire Saint-Gaudens $10 series. Graded MS66 by PCGS and approved by CAC, it is the finest certified example of this key date. Even the most famous Norweb specimen, long celebrated, only grades as MS65 by comparison. This flawless beauty passed under the auctioneer's gavel for a sum of $1.8 million. In the summer of 1912, a $5 gold piece became a national headline. $3,000 for a 1798 half-eagle, a sum so startling it traveled from the New York Tribune to the Honolulu papers. This is that same coin, a 1798 capped bust right half-eagle with the small eagle reverse. Today, only 7 coins are known to still exist, of an emergency minting of no more than 600 coins originally, although even that point is unclear today. James Stack Sr. acquired this coin for his collection in 1946, where it would remain for the next 80 years, until it appeared here, graded by PCGS as AU53 and sold for $2,820,000. Subscribe to WNN and feel free to watch another video about the spectacular Harry Bass collection next, right here. For the World Numismatic News, I am Numisman saying thank you for watching. Keep collecting and have a fantastic day.